അല്ലെങ്കിൽ എഞ്ചിനീയർ ആവണം എന്നുള്ളത്
എല്ലാം പക്കയായിട്ട് ചെയ്ത് തരാമെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞേക്കുന്നു.
വിസിബിൾ ആണ്.
സെയിം തന്നെ.
ആദ്യം തൊട്ടോ
ആദ്യം തൊട്ട് ഇട്ടുണ്ട്. എന്താ തൊടല്ലേ?
Yeah, so dear students, coming to history optional, in this video we will be covering lots of anticipated questions, areas, topics for this upcoming CSE 2025. Before that, let me introduce you. There are certain concerns with regard to how to introduce an answer, conclude an answer, especially those aspirants appearing for the first time. They have confusions regarding how to introduce an answers in paper 1 or paper 2. So I'm giving you some solutions, especially I said it, guys appearing for this exam first time. There are different sorts of introductions, conclusions in paper 1, paper 2. That will break the monotony of answer writing. Here you can start with a primary source. Primary source can be archaeological, primary sources can be literary sources, indigenous sources, foreign sources. When you deal with the different concepts, for example, with regard to decline of this Indus civilization or Mauryan administration or Ashoka's Dhamma or these ancient trade networks or Gupta age and a debate on this golden age or about this Sangam age and the Southeast Asia connections. Or there are lots of themes and topics in paper 1, ancient India, medieval India, where you can use sources, primary sources, in order to introduce an answer. For example, Arthashastra can be quoted on these aspects: governance, law and order, espionage, economic policy, people's role in state, or welfare state, or wealth concept. See, this primary source can be directly quoted. That way you can start an answer. Or you can start with an archaeological finding. See, granary remains at Ragigarki reveal a scale of storage and meshed in other Harappan sites. So when the question are connected with, for example, this, what is called, they asked about this urbanization of Indus. Or maybe they can ask about this, economic aspects of Indus. They can ask about the societal aspects of Indus. Or they can ask about this international linkage, Indus with other river valley civilizations. They all can use archaeological findings. Okay. Foreign travelers' observation. Al-Biruni marveled India's scientific curiosity, noting skill in mathematics and astronomy. So when the question is about this development of, or to what extent this India's science or technology progressed, to answer such questions, you can start with the foreigners' observations. timeline anchor. Yeah, the questions like, see, Pallavas established a stronghold in Kanchipuram. So the question is about, this political supremacy, or maybe this military supremacy, or about these cultural contributions. They're all you can use, is a timeline introduction. Then historiographical debate. See, for example, R. Sharma views post-Gupta as feudal decline. Steen segmentary state model offers a contrasting interpretation. So when you start an answer, somewhere you can use historiographical narrative or historiographical debate in order to introduce an answer, or contemporary analogy, starting with a contemporary, that is, for example, when you discuss on this maritime trade of Indus civilization. See, Lothal thrived as a hub of this global maritime trade over 4 million years ago, just like a present port cities. That is also a way of introduction. Inscription based statement, or cultural artifact, or cause and effect contest. See, these are different ways of starting an answer, different ways of introducing an answer. Conclusion, again, see, coming to conclusion, you can link to legacy. Gupta age or Gupta coinage not only facilitated domestic trade but influenced medieval monetary patterns for centuries. See, when it comes to Gupta coinage, then historians balanced verdict. Satish Chandra notes Mughal decline was less a sudden collapse, more a prolonged transformation. Continuity into next phase, Chola naval tradition laid foundation for South India's later interactions with the Southeast Asia. With some examples you can say. End with the present day relevance, local self-government in Chola administration finds echoes in India's Panchayat Raj system today. Conclude with the cultural symbolism. Amaravati Stupa remains a silent storyteller of India's Buddhist past and its artistic genius. So, what I said is that these are some ways of concluding answers. Different ways you can introduce an answer, different ways you can conclude answers. Okay, so try to bring that diversity in introduction and conclusion part of your answers. Yeah, bridging to global history, or offering a nuanced judgment back to the introduction, conclude with this intro, using short, powerful closing lines. You see, these all are the ways you can conclude your answers. This we already discussed in our previous session. Okay, different sorts of introduction, conclusions we discussed. So this is simply I'm sharing you an idea of the toppers, how you can introduce answers in paper 1, answers in this paper 2. Similar way, how you can conclude answers in paper 1, paper 2. And now moving on to so look into this. Yeah, some most anticipated topics areas for 2025. This you already covered, we already discussed, but it is a kind of a marathon revision. Very quickly I will finish this. Coming to ancient India, archaeological sources. So don't ever miss this part, archaeological sources. Archaeological sources. Why the questions from archaeological sources could be asked? Because of the recent excavations and technological innovations, recent DNA analysis, or this very recent observations made by different historians, archaeologists on these recent findings. So of course, archaeological excavations, archaeological sources with regard to megalithic culture, with regard to Indus culture, with regard to prehistoric art, with regard to connection between this Vedic and this what is called Indus people, or with regard to these recent Buddhist site discoveries. Okay, so due to which sources are important. So sources, literary sources, archaeological sources, how they throw light into this reconstruction part of the history, early history, maybe cultural history, economic history, or civilizational history. That part you have to focus very much. Then similar way, because why I am saying this, because it is very clear, because in a 3 to 4 years or 5 years gaps, UPSC will definitely ask these questions in a rotational basis. Similar way, if you get into this Harappan economy and trade networks, see, this is again direct question isn't due from 2017. So of course, Harappan economy, trade networks, again a potential topic you have to focus. I mean, it's different dimensions you have to focus for this year. Religious developments in later Vedic and Mauryan era. Okay, so Buddhism, Jainism, we know that it is very important. Vedic rituals, this Vedic culture, religion, that was asked in GS paper. Of course, there is a high probability that UPC can ask. I mean, UPC always prefers the topics which are very much interlinked with the GS part also. So that could be asked in this. That could be asked in our history optional. Some history optional questions are repeatedly asked in GS paper also. Then see, this concept is about a feudalism debate. Again, this is again important for you. Different interpretations, subaltern interpretations, or maybe different interpretations on this character, nature of this feudalism, its establishment, its decline, or its like contributions to this political or maybe this economic progression of ancient medieval India. That concept is important for you. Then of course the cultural themes, temple architecture, administration, imperial Cholas are there, Pallavas are there, Pandyas are there. Of course, take care that since some of these cultural sites being nominated into UNESCO or nominated for UNESCO heritage recognition, this temple architecture, especially the South Indian temple architecture and these architectural contributions by these popular rulers, especially Cholas, Pallavas, they are important. In a rotational basis, they ask the questions. Coming to medieval Delhi Sultanate, yes, this agrarian and revenue system of Delhi Sultanate. Then this what is called a Bhakti Sufi comparison between these North Indian saints and South Indian saints. It's again important for you. Then again see, there is Mughal administration, especially this revenue administration or economic policies, Maratha Confederacy administration, Shivaji's administration. Why these topics are being said here? Because in a rotational basis UPSC asks these questions. Okay, rotational basis UPSC asks these questions. So these areas shouldn't be compromised. Again, coming to modern India, peasant movements, okay, labor movements, or these tribal uprisings which are important for you. Then see, extremist moderates, ideological differences important for you. Swadeshi boycott due to this recent current affairs or recent developments in this Swadeshi, or how they are connected with this emergence of nationalism, or this recent Atmanirbhar Bharat, self-reliance concept and its debates by different historians and connection with the Swadeshi and its what is called recent celebrations. So all those points are important, and here you again please expect that topics which are not being asked for last 3 to 4 years, they are important for this year. Okay. World history, again see, there is Industrial Revolution, unification of Italy, Germany, decolonization, Cold War, globalization. Okay, so due to these recent happenings in the, you can expect a question, World War, World War II, or maybe developments after World War II, okay, or factors leading to this World War I and World War II. So again expect that it's a high probability you can expect questions in this paper too. So why these topics, I say, one is due to recent 10 to 15 years analysis. See, every topic, every team has a tendency of being asked in a 3-5 3-5 years duration. These questions can be in a rotation basis, they can be asked in the exam. Okay, you can see that there are lots of themes. For example, 1857 revolt. For example, this what is called this Swadeshi movement, or this what is called different strands in this international movement, or this British economic policies or economic imperialism, or the so-called Bhakti Sufi, or this Mughals and their socio-economic life of the common people during Mughals. So there are lots of such themes. They are being asked in a 4-5 years gaps. Okay, so that is why those areas shouldn't be compromised. Here so then anniversary of course, again coming to this constitution, India's constitution, constituent assembly, or maybe factors leading to this constitution, or maybe what is called the post-independent developments. Okay, so again, because of anniversary celebrations, obviously, yeah, this is again questions related to constitution. I mean, 75 years of completion of this, the adoption of constitution, or maybe there are commemoration of the Jallianwala Bagh massacre, non-cooperation, Quit India, INA. See, due to these commemorations and anniversary celebrations, of course, such topics can be asked when they are in the news, when they are being discussed and debated recently in the news. Of course, there is a high probability of being asked in the exam. Similar way, current relevance, this Indian Ocean trade, peasant movements, Cold War, okay, India's economic or diplomatic policies with the neighborhood. So when these are in the news, of course, their historical questions could be asked. Okay, so take care that these topics which are being in the news recently, or topics which are being asked in a rotational basis for this 3-5 years gap, such topics shouldn't be compromised. Okay, some questions I am showing you here. For example, recent excavations at Kiradi. Yeah, significance of recent excavations at Kiradi in understanding cultural linkages between Sangam and early traditions. How far Harappan economy described as specialized urban economy. Role of Arthashastra in reconstructing political economic structure of Mauryan state. Yes, significance of foreign accounts in reconstructing ancient Indian history. Early medieval India was marked by emergence of decentralized political formations. Evaluate the role of temple architecture in Chola era. Analyze factors behind this urban decline in post-Gupta India. Critically examine archaeological literary sources for studying Mauryan economy. Compare and contrast political administrative systems of the Pallavas, Cholas. See, medieval era. Explain this nature and the role of this Ikta system under Delhi Sultanate. Impact of Bhakti Sufi movements on social harmony. Just to see how the questions being framed. Critically analyze agrarian structure of Delhi Sultanate with a special reference to land revenue systems. This I can share with you some model questions. I am telling you, don't give so much importance to these questions. This you just keep in the mind. I mean, what I should say that some model questions are like this. Role of moderates in laying foundation of Indian nationalism, economic impact of Swadeshi boycott, evaluation of the contribution of INA to Indian independence. They are straightforward questions, not necessarily that same questions could be asked. These questions can be tested and in a multi-dimensional angle they can be asked. Okay. So this is some discuss socio-economic impact of industrial revolution, or maybe compare and contrast unifications in Italy, Germany. The basic stems or the basic keywords I am sharing you. Questions can be, they can be framed in some other way, twisted way, or they can be with multiple angles and dimensions. So these are some basic keywords I am sharing here. Globalization, impact of globalization on the sovereignty of nation states. Okay, so just to see, why these questions? Because these topics, German unification, industrial revolution, state reorganization, or this Cold War, or globalization, or these early satyagrahas, peasant movements, INA, or moderates, Bhakti Sufi, this Ikta system, Mauryan economy, Pallavas, Cholas, these are very much important keywords for this year. That's why some questions are framed from them. Okay. And regarding this map part also, some sites are important. Ragi Gargi, okay, due to the recent excavations and discoveries. Then Kiradi, then Sanoli, Uttar Pradesh, Dholavira, Gujarat, Lothal. See, all these are some sites I am sharing you. They are of very much importance for this year's mapping question. Map question is there in your history optional paper 1. First question, okay. See, Amravati, Udaygiri, Iran, Aihole, Pattadakal, Tanjavur. Okay, Hampi, then Kalibangan, Purana Khila. These are some sites. Why they are important? Okay, why they are important? The reasons are given there. Okay, so what I said is that this is just 20 sites I am sharing you. So you might have already prepared a list of the sites must be covered. So make sure that those sites, you just in a plain map of India, you just locate these sites. There itself you write some points, its location or its cultural historical significance. So especially the last 1.5 years, what all the sites being in the news, historical cultural sites in the news that you shouldn't miss, they are important for you. Okay. So These are the things I would like to share with you, especially the topics which are which are being absent for the last 5 years. Okay, they are being asked earlier, but being absent for the last 4 to 5 years. Yes, they are highly anticipated questions or topics for this year. And the topics which are in the news recently, last 1 or 2 years, the topics which are in the news recently, they are also highly anticipated topics for this exam. Okay, again I said, yes, the topics which are in the news due to anniversary and commemorations, they are important for you. Topics which overlap with the GS, they are important for you. So such topics couldn't be missed. Just go for it. Just revise it nicely and prepare well. Also the sites you prepare well. Anybody who need any support, I mean the anticipated 100 topics for this year, or maybe the maps, the compilation of the like a potential map sites for this year, such things I can share with you. Anybody who need that compilations, please inform office. Also, in the upcoming day we will be releasing these 8-point solutions to some selected PYQs. Okay, because history optional is such an optional that solving PYQs will give you a upper hand in this final exam over others, because most of the questions are built around the PYQs, or they are inspired from the PYQs. So obviously practicing PYQs, that will save you in the final exam. Have an idea. This what I said is that this PYQ gap analysis, that will always help you to anticipate some topics, some questions for this upcoming exam. Similar way, the topics which are in the news, that shouldn't be skipped. So go for it. And these 8-point solutions to PYQs, that would be done very soon, that you can use for your preparation part. Saying this, I am winding up. Thank you.